evening once again, everybody. Big crowd tonight. We appreciate everybody turning out to support this activity. Feel free to just continue on eating. Don't leave your food. We're going to get the presentation started. I'd like to get us as close to 6:30 started as we can, so we can get you out of here in good time this evening. Welcome to the Spreng Capital Management 2019 All-County All-Stars Athletes Banquet. And again, coaches, the athletic directors, all, I know, and the fans even, say, where did the season go? It just goes by so quickly. And when you look back on it, you think, wow, so much has happened in such a reasonably short time. Before we get started, we'd like to acknowledge a few of our sponsors, our major sponsors at the radio station. Rod Steiger is general manager of Bucyrus and Galleon Pizza Huts, which have hosted Coach's Corner West in Bucyrus on Mondays and Coach's Corner East in Galleon on Wednesdays since 1992. So a longtime major sponsor of ours. Scott and Randy Nickel at McDonald's Restaurants in Bucyrus and Galleon, title sponsor of WBCO 107.5 and 1540 AM Game of the Week, and is the player of the game sponsor for 92.7 WQEL. Ron and Marcia Burkhardt at Burkhardt Farm Center, the title sponsor on WQEL football and basketball play-by-play. But by the way, we'll be starting our basketball broadcasts here coming up on November 22nd. We have 61 games scheduled for this year between the two stations, so we're happy that we're able to do that. Matt Studer, general manager of Spitzer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Kia in Mansfield, who sponsors the Spitzer Game Changer for football and basketball games. We'd also like to acknowledge FC Bank. They are the sponsor of the Fan of the Week. Might have some of those fans of the week here tonight, but we try to do one of those every week. We'd also like to thank Araya Clough and the staff here at the Trillium Center for allowing us to have the ceremony here again. We think it's a real nice venue. And a special thanks to Vita, because they supplied the food for us. It's always something different too. This is like my 7th banquet, 8th banquet, and never been a rerun on the food, so they do a good job there. And we also appreciate our station manager, Kim Jenny, for completely supporting and arranging this worthwhile evening. Dan Cobb at Central Monogramming for providing the sweatshirts, and Dean Williams at Dean's Trophy House. He supplies the plaques for the recipients. And he also assists in the selection process. Both, once again, have done outstanding jobs for us. We appreciate the efforts of those who work behind the scenes to organize this event. We have photographers, Maria Weinmiller, who's here tonight. She'll be taking pictures at the end. Don Tudor, our news director, James Massara, who will be a presenter tonight. Zach Lehner, who does our videography for this event. Jeff Roberts, for producing the programs. He will also be a presenter. And our receptionist, Brooke Stevenson, who organizes the plaques and sweatshirts. And believe me, she was here since about noon today, getting these all arranged and hung up and getting ready for the presentation. And also our hardworking sales rep, Claudia Spiegel, and she's going to be helping to present the plaques to the recipients. And so we appreciate her efforts as well. And we are truly indebted to Jim Spreng and Tom Brown at Spreng Capital Management. That's why this is called the Spreng Capital Management All-County All-Stars, because without their generous support, we would not be able to have this evening. Spreng Capital remains the sole sponsor of these events as we recognize local athletes and coaches. And Jim will be handing out the awards as usual tonight. And again, I'm sure I speak for the entire staff at WQEL, WBCO, Crawford County now, in saying that we especially want to thank all the student athletes, the coaches, whether they're receiving awards tonight or not, the athletic directors, for all the 6 county schools, because without your cooperation, this would be a very difficult, much more difficult job than it is already. I would like to all of you to know that it really is, and if you've been here before, you've heard me say this, how difficult it is to make these selections, because we have categories of 5 in 6 county schools. And many times you have multiple athletes in the same sport and the same school. Very difficult to make the determination one over the other. But we know that there are many more that aren't here tonight that are worthy of these selections. So now, before we get on with the presentation, as usual, we have our guest speaker, Jim Spreng, and he will have a few words of encouragement for us. Jim.
Good evening, everyone, and I do apologize to those of you who are still eating. When you have 160 people through and you would like to be done by 7 o'clock to get everybody home, because we know these are student athletes, so the student part has to take care tonight after practices and all those things. So we're sorry for those of you who are still finishing up eating, but just a few brief remarks here, and then we'll do the awards, and hopefully by then you've finished eating. Again, I've never done this before, but I never really heard the numbers before. What WQEL, WBCO, and the staff does for this area and for you as student athletes is incredible. 61 basketball games, guys? Seriously. You think that their weekends are spent with their family and stuff when there's a Saturday afternoon game, Friday night game, a Saturday night game? No, they are sacrificing a lot for you as well. Yes, it's a business. Yes, they get sponsors, but there's a whole lot of other types of programming they could do that is much less labor demanding than doing sports programs to support you. So please join me in thanking WQEL for all that they do for everyone. So, congratulations to everyone this evening. Congratulations from my wife Valerie, my partner Tom Brown, his wife Nikki, and our assistants Leslie Lutz and Stephanie Binkley. There's a reason that I mention all these people, because you have teammates in all your sports. They're my team as well. They're my team for the rest of my life. Leslie is my assistant. She's the voice you hear on the phone. She's the first face you see when she comes in. She's incredibly important to us, the same way that teammates are important to you in your sports and later in life. You need to thank your teammates for the success, because I promise you, without them, you wouldn't be here tonight. Now, I know, those of you who in individual sports can say, well, you know, cross country, golf, those type things. Do you really think if you were the only student in your school who wanted to participate in those sports, do you think the school board would be able to justify having a sport for you? No. You have to have teammates, or there wouldn't even be a team for you. So please, thank your teammates, because you wouldn't be here tonight without them. I hope you were a good teammate, because this is going to be where you're going to be for the rest of your life, contributing as a group in a lot of different endeavors. You need to thank your coaches, your athletic director, your school board. Here's the question I always love to ask. How many of you know who the president of your booster club is at your school? Student athletes, hands up. Not near enough. Not near enough. Those people put blood, sweat, and tears in for months to make sure that you have everything that you need. Anything you could possibly need. So, please, go home. If you're going to do anything, put pen to paper and write a little note to your booster club and thank them for all the support that they do for all the student athletes in your school district, because they are the unsung people who do so much. You need to thank your brothers and sisters at home. How much do you think they sacrificed for you? You needed a new pair of sneaks, new pair of cleats, a new set of golf clubs. You think your little brothers and sisters didn't want some things too that they didn't get? How many times did a little brother and sister sit in a hot gym over the summertime for club volleyball? A lot of times. Okay? So go home, hug your little brothers and sisters, and let them shove you off, because they will, but you know why you're doing it. We're very proud of all of you tonight, and we're here to celebrate your accomplishments. However, this is not a free ride for you guys. We're going to recognize you tonight. We're going to honor you. We're going to give you some swag to take home. But even though you might be a senior and playing, your career is over, your life is far from over. This is just a way station in the journey of life. We have high expectations for you. And those expectations are, we, the radio station, sponsors, parents, all the people at your school, they have given you these opportunities. But there's a catch. Because we have this expectation down the road that when there's a knock on the door and somebody's asking you to run for school board, somebody's asking you to carry a petition for a school levy, when they're asking you to be a Little League baseball or softball coach, all those type of things, we expect you. We absolutely expect you to be the kind of people we think that you are, and you will accept the challenge of carrying on the things that people have done for you. So while this is a great night, this is just the beginning for you. Two things. Kim, the radio station manager, she would kick me if I didn't tell you this story, because it's a good story and it's a true story. I tell my clients, true stories are always the best. You know, you never tell names, but true stories are better than the cute little anecdotes you want to make up. The CEO of Charles Schwab, a multi-billion-dollar corporation, grew up in Little Ada, Ohio, which is where Ohio Northern is. His father was a college professor there. Well, he was a very good student and he was a very good golfer. And he got a college scholarship to Delta State down in Mississippi. So he's down there playing college golf, and he's a really good student because his father was a professor, so I'm sure the family supported education and had certain demands. So he's got this straight 4-point going into his last class of his senior year. And so he studies it's an economics class, so he studies all these formulas and all this kind of stuff, and he thinks he's got it nailed. And he goes in, and there's a piece of paper turned upside down on the desk for all these students to take. So he's thinking, well, there's probably one major question here, you know, that we're going to have to write on or whatever like that it's going to be. So the professor says, okay, everybody, turn over the paper. Turns the paper over, and the question is, what's the name of the person who cleans this building? He didn't know. He said, of course I flunked it, and so did everybody else. But he says, so I didn't graduate with a straight 4-point. But he says, it struck home. Because, again, this is the teammate thing, guys. Okay? It doesn't matter what the position is. We have a cleaning crew that comes to our office. They're essential to us, that our office look presentable and clean when clients come in. They're part of our team. And you need to recognize that, pardon me, the lowliest position that people might assume or think, they're part of the team and it helps you succeed. This is the way life's going to be. So, again, we are so proud of you tonight. We hope you enjoy this to the nth degree, but please, 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 do not let this be the crowning achievement of your life. You have so much more. You have so much to offer the world. Please don't let this be when you're my age and you're looking back and you're woofing and beating your chest that I was all county back in 2019. There's so much more than that in life, guys. There's so much more. So, again, congratulations. I'm going to finish up. You probably won't remember a thing I've said. But if you remember this last thing I'm going to tell you, this will be vital for you. Okay, when you come up here tonight, you should all be very, very proud of yourselves. So, I don't want to see anybody being bashful and timid and looking down at the floor when they come up here. Now, seriously, this is called the first impression. You have one chance to make a first impression. And that is, you look the person in the eye and you have a firm handshake and you say thank you. And you look them in the eye and it's a firm handshake, okay? Why? Because you won't get a second chance to make a first impression. And a handshake in the business world is the first impression for the vast majority of people. Oh yeah, you may go out, you may look at something on the internet and be interested by that, but still, when you get eye to eye and face to face with a person that's what you might be hiring or making a job offer to, it's going to be that first impression that will last the most. So please, congratulations tonight. Be proud of yourselves. Come up here with a nice firm handshake and a smile and look everybody in the eye and say thank you. Again, congratulations everyone. We're so, so proud of you. Your parents and your family, your teammates, they're all proud of you. But please, please don't let this be the crowning achievement of your life. There is so much more. Congratulations everyone.
Thanks a lot, Jim. Once again, Jim had some inspiring words, and he knows the more he speaks. He's a Division I college basketball player, so Jim knows the ropes there. As a reminder, we would like to tell you that each sports group will have their picture taken along with the coach, group pictures at the conclusion of the ceremony, and it will be in the order that the presentations are made. And also, if you find, once you get your plaque or your sweatshirt, and you have a problem with it, spell your name wrong, anything like that, just let us know. We'll be glad to take care of it. So we're going to get the presentations underway, and our first presenter is Josh Stallings with the football awards.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming, certainly. Enjoy that you guys are here. As Dan mentioned, I am Josh Stallings. I'm the play-by-play guy for WQEL, so I've had the pleasure of seeing all these young men play on the gridiron this year, and they certainly deserve to be honored here tonight. They really showed off their skills. So without further ado, let's get to our first one. First honoree tonight is Andrew Pfeiffer of Bucyrus. Andrew led the N10 in tackles from his linebacker position with 148, 30 more than second place in the league. He helped lead the Redmen to a 5-5 record, their best since 2014. Mr. Andrew Pfeiffer. Up next, from Colonel Crawford High School, Mr. Tristan Cross. Tristan led the N10 in rushing with over 1,500 yards, nearly double the second place rusher. He scored 15 touchdowns and only lost one fumble. Tristan Cross. Our next honoree this evening is Mr. Cody Taylor of Winfred. Cody was third in the N10 in tackles and fourth in tackles for loss. Offensively, he was seventh in the league in rushing, helped to lead the Royals to a share of the N10 title. Cody Taylor. Our next honoree this evening is Wilson Frankhouse of Galleon. Wilson led the MOAC with nearly 2,500 passing yards, good for 27 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He guided the high-powered Tigers offense to a playoff berth, and you can hear it on WQEL coming up this weekend. Wilson Frankhouse. Another honoree from Galleon High School, Mr. Isaiah Alsip. Isaiah was the top receiver in the MOAC with over 1,000 yards and 13 touchdowns, averaging 13 yards per catch. He also had 3 interceptions on defense coming off an All-Ohio season. Isaiah Alsip. Our next honoree is Jacob Maxheimer of Buckeye Central. Jacob rushed for over 700 yards and averaged over 100 yards per game in just 7 games on the field this season. Jacob accounted for nearly 1/3 of the Bucs' total offense. Jacob Maxheimer. Next up is our Coach of the Year, Matt Dick of Galleon. Coach Dick led the Tigers to an 8-2 record and second place in the MOAC. The Tigers will host a playoff game against Ottawa Glandorf on Saturday. Coach Matt Dick. Those are your two 2019 football honorees. Next up is Jared Moore with tennis.
Congratulations to all our fall athletes, and if you would, you can also come up and get your plaque with Jim here as we're talking. So, our first honoree is Kaylee Rister of Bucyrus. Kaylee was named captain of her team and went 14-4 in first singles. As a junior, she is a 3-year letter winner and was the Sam Savick Tournament Award winner for sportsmanship and effort. Kaylee Rister. Our next honoree is Catherine Talbot of Galleon. Catherine finished with a 19-9 record at #1 singles. She was named honorable mention all MOAC and finished her 4-year career with a 91-16 record. Catherine Talbot. Our next honoree is Katie Bond of Galleon. Katie teamed with Alec Chandler at first doubles, finishing with a 25-5 record, and finished 4th in the sectional tournament qualifying for the districts. She was first team All-MOAC. Katie Bond. Our next honoree is Alec Chandler of Galleon. Ellie, along with Katie Bond, was named first team All-MOAC. They won the MOAC tournament, the Sam Savick Invitational, and were runners-up in the Madison Invitational. As a team, they were named honorable mention all OTCA Northwest District. Alec Chandler. Our coach of the year is Terry Gribble of Galleon. Coach Gribble led the Tigers to a 4th place finish in the MOAC tournament and an 11-7 record on the season, with 2 first-team players, both district qualifiers. Coach Terry Gribble. And next up is Davy Jones with boys cross country.
Thank you and good evening, everybody. This is the boys cross country. Our first honoree is Braxton Tate of Galleon. Braxton finished 2nd in the MOAC meet, making him the first team all-league. He was also 3rd in Division II regionals at Tiffin, 3rd in the state meet, and 1st in the Crawford County meet. Please welcome Braxton Tate. Our next honoree is Mason Mckibben of Colonel Crawford. Mason finished 2nd in the Crawford County meet, 7th at the N10 meet, was 23rd at the Division III district meet. Please welcome Mason Mckibben. Our next honoree is Alex Lawson of Colonel Crawford. Alex finished 5th in the Colonel Crawford meet and 14th in the N10 meet. He was 20th at the Division III district meet. Please welcome Alex Lawson. Our next honoree is Keeton Dunford of Winfred. Keeton finished 3rd in the Crawford County meet and was 2nd in the N10 meet. Keeton finished 6th in the Division III district meet, qualifying for the regionals. Please welcome Keeton Dunford. Our next honoree is Kaylee Scott of Bucyrus. Kale finished 4th in the Crawford County meet and 10th in the N10 meet. He was 4th in the Division III district meet. Please welcome Kale Scott. Finally, our next honoree is Danny Kaiser of Crestline. Danny finished 9th in the Crawford County meet, and he finished 25th in the Division III district meet at Galleon. Please welcome Danny Kaiser. Our boys cross-country coach of the year is Ben Stuckey of Winfred. Coach Stuckey led the Royals to a second-place finish in the N10, a third-place finish at the Division III district meet, 12th place at the regional meet, and first in the Crawford County meet. Please welcome Coach Ben Stuckey. Thank you very much. Next up is Eric Falls with girls cross-country.
Good evening. I apologize if I didn't get to your table quite quick enough. I know I hold the power to who gets to eat first every year. I don't know how I've got bestowed that, but do the best I can. I am the operations manager for the North Central Ohio Media Group, so I kind of try and keep things going behind the scenes and make sure that everything's working the best that it can work. And I want to plug for anybody who may be interested in a career in media. We actually have a part-time position open that would be perfect actually for a high school student who wants to potentially get into media of any kind. It's a part-time position for a board operator and a producer for a radio station, heavily involved in sports. So if you're interested in the sports field, or you don't even have to necessarily be focused in that, but we have information on our radio station website if you're interested in that. And if you are, I would definitely love to hear from you. So just a little plug on that. All right, now our first honoree for girls cross country is Brooklyn Gates of Galleon. Brooklyn finished second in the Crawford County meet and 10th in the MOAC meet. She was 11th at the Division II district meet. Brooklyn Gates. Next up is Zayna Tate of Galleon. Zayna finished third in the Crawford County meet and 9th in the MOAC meet. She was 22nd at the Division II district meet at Galleon. Zayna Tate. And our next honoree for this evening is Alison Manco of Colonel Crawford. Allison finished first in the Crawford County meet and 5th in the N10 meet. She was 6th at the Division III district meet at Galleon. Allison Manco. Next honoree for this evening is Katie Hopkins of Colonel Crawford. Katie finished 4th in the Crawford County meet and 10th at the N10 meet. She was 15th at the Division III district meet at Galleon. Katie Hopkins. And our coach of the year is Cindy Connor of Galleon. Coach Connor led the Tigers to a second place finish in the MOAC meet and a 4th place finish in the Division II district meet, qualifying for the regional. Galleon also finished first in the Crawford County meet. Coach Cindy Connor. And our next presenter for the evening is Jeff Roberts with Boys Golf.
Thank you, everyone. And considering Eric's doing plugs for the radio station, I would like to make a plug. If anybody wants to rake the leaves at my house, give me a call afterwards. Come on by. You know, you can come by and mow my yard. Okay, guys, that's a Caddyshack reference for those of you guys who are unaware. We're going to talk about boys golf now here at our first honoree, Matthew McMullen of Galleon. Matthew finished first in the MOAC tournament, earning him first team all-league. He averaged 37.9 per 9 holes and finished tied for first in the Division II sectional tournament. Congratulations, Matthew McMullen. Our next honoree is Spencer Keller of Galleon. Spencer finished second in the MOAC tournament, earning first team league honors. He averaged 39 per 9 holes in the regular season and tied teammate Matthew McMullen for first place in the Division II sectional. Spencer Keller. Our next honoree is Reese Ziegler of Bucyrus. Reese finished first at the Division III sectional tournament to qualify for the district tournament. He averaged 40.9 per 9 holes in the regular season, where he finished tied for 11th and helped lead the Redmen to 4th place in the N10, Reese Ziegler. Our next honoree is Tyler Rose of Buckeye Central High School. Tyler shot an 81 in the sectional tournament to lead the Bucks to a 3rd place finish and a team berth in the district tournament. His 46.4 9-hole average helped Buckeye Central finish 3rd in the N10. Tyler Rose. Our next honoree is Caleb Keeton of Winfred. Caleb led the Royals with a 42.5 9-hole average in the regular season. He helped lead Winfred to 6th place in the N10. Caleb Keeton. And our Coach of the Year is Bryce Lehman of Galleon. Coach Lehman led the Tigers to the MOAC Tournament Championship and a 12-0 regular season record. He led the Tigers to the sectional and district championships and an appearance in the state tournament. Congratulations, Coach Bryce Lehman. Next up with girls golf, it is Brooke Stevenson.
Hi everyone, I'm Brooke. I'm going to be presenting girls golf. I wanted to congratulate everybody on this well-deserved award. So our first honoree is Katie Schieffer of Winfred. Katie led the N10 with a 50.25 9-hole scoring average. She finished 14th in the Division II sectional tournament and helped the Royals to 3rd place in the N10. Katie Schieffer. Our next honoree is Gabby Johnson of Winfred. Gabby averaged 54 for 9 holes, 4th in the N10. She finished 17th in the Division II sectional tournament and contributed to the Royals' 6-4 season record. Gabby Johnson. Our next honoree is Jordan Osball of Winfred. Jordan averaged 54 for 9 holes, tied for 4th in the N10 with teammate Gabby Johnson. She finished 28th at the Division II sectional tournament. Jordan Oswald. Our next honoree is Katie Reynolds of Colonel Crawford. Katie averaged 54.25 per 9 holes to help the Lady Eagles to a 1st place finish in the N10. Katie shot 119 in the Division II sectional tournament. Katie Reynolds. And our Coach of the Year is Ronnie Hallberg of Colonel Crawford. Coach Hallberg led the Lady Eagles to a 9-1 season record, an N10 title, and a 4th place finish in the Division II sectional tournament. Coach Ronnie Hallberg. And next is James Massara with volleyball.
Hi there, I'm James Massara. I'm the news director for the North Central Ohio Media Group. I've also been kind of deemed the in-house volleyball broadcaster, which I've really enjoyed because volleyball is probably, except for basketball, because my dad coached a game the night I was born, volleyball is probably the next sport I was around. My mom was a varsity coach. She's done a couple games with me as a color commentator, so I've been a ball boy since I could walk. So it's actually been a lot of fun to get to broadcast some volleyball games during my time so far here, and really got to see some great volleyball over the past couple years. So our first honoree tonight is Taylor Kieran of Galleon. Taylor was named First Team Division III District 6 and First Team All-MOAC. She led the Lady Tigers in blocks with 75 and kill percentage at 59. She was also second in kills with 267. Taylor Kieran. Our next honoree is Samantha Comer of Galleon. Samantha was named First Team Division III District 6 and First Team All-MOAC. She led the team in kills with 278 and was second in digs and receptions and was tied for 3rd in blocks. Samantha Comer. Our next honoree is Lexi Evac of Buckeye Central. Lexi was named First Team All-N10 and the Player of the Year, and leading the Buckettes to a 16-0 record in the league and a 19-5 overall record. She was first in the league in hitting and was named First Team District 6. Lexi Evac. next honoree is Mackenzie Fennessy of Buckeye Central. Mackenzie led the N10 in serving and was second in aces with 58. She was fourth in setting and nearly had 400 assists. Mackenzie Fennessy. Our next honoree is Alison Technovic of Colonel Crawford. Alison was named Honorable Mention on N10 and Honorable Mention Division III District 6. She was second in the N10 in digs with 464, fourth in serving with 52 aces, and fifth in serve receiving. Alison Technovic. Our next honoree is Avery McMillan of Winfred. Avery was named second team Division III District 6 and was also second team N10. She was third in the league with 78 blocks, averaging nearly 1% and eighth in hitting. Avery McMillan. And our coach of the year is Jamie Valentine of Galleon. Coach Valentine was named District 6 Co-Coach of the Year and leading the Tigers to a 24-2 record and an appearance in the Division III Regional Tournament semifinals. Galleon also won the MOAC with a perfect 12-0 record. Coach Jamie Valentine. And now we will turn it back over to Sports Director Dan Messerschmidt.
Pretty impressive. I compile those stats for those bios, and when I hear them read, it's still impressive. And to know that there are others that were also worthy just shows you what kind of sports activities we have here in Crawford County. It's really great. We appreciate you all coming out tonight, and we want to remind you of a couple things before we end this. Again, we're going to have pictures of the teams, and Brooke Stevenson will announce the teams as they're ready to take the pictures, but just bear in mind it'll be in the order that they were presented. Also, don't forget your sweatshirts. We've had people walk off and forget to take their sweatshirts. When you take your sweatshirt, please leave the hangers. Those are the ones that we'll be using for the next banquet. And Brooke will have a box here for you to put the hanger in before you leave. And again, if you have any problems with the plaques, the sweatshirts, we will be more than happy to take care of those. So thanks again for coming out, and appreciate the attendance.